Hey, what's good, Urban Mystics? It's Unique Divination, and you're tuned into Urban Mystik TV. And I wanted to bring a message to everybody out there about personal empowerment and what that means as far as people who are into the spiritual and esoteric community who solicit spiritual work from practitioners when they really don't have the money for it to begin with. So not only is this about personal empowerment, it's about, soliciting services that you don't have the money for. In the real world, in the muggle world, in the Matrix, if you don't have the money for something, you can't go to the mall and go into the Nike store and say, hey, I really need these Nikes. I don't have them. Is there any way that you guys can do something for me? There's no way. It's a business, so they're not in the business of getting free stuff. Now, there's other alternatives to getting those Nikes. You can go to the thrift store. You can maybe raise money, GoFundMe. But anyway, you can do other things other than solicit, and you don't have the money for it. The same thing applies to a spiritual practitioner. So, first of all, if you don't have the money, you shouldn't be soliciting services that you just really don't have, right? Second, and then get upset when the spiritual practitioner doesn't want to help you. I don't want to help you. If you don't have the money, I don't want to help, because these are the reasons why. Number one, it requires my labor. Just like when you go get your car worked on, you have to pay for the parts and the labor. All right, when you ask somebody to do spell work or any type of work, there's parts and there's labor involved, and I need to be paid for that. And that's not up for you to decide what you should pay me. That's not how business works. Business is set prices, and either you go with them prices or you find somebody else. So in the event that you can't afford my prices or another practitioner, then maybe you need to find somebody who's more in your price range. Stop aiming for things that you can't afford. That's like going for a Gucci bag knowing that you can't afford it. You're going to end up stealing and doing everything else negatively to get this. It's the same way with spiritual work. If you can't afford it, go to somebody else who you can afford. That's first and foremost, right? Also, I know I do. I used to do community spells. I still do, but there is a small fee. $20 membership will get you a full moon abundance and protection ritual. So look for practitioners who do community spells. I also do discounted. I do readings by donation at times on live. Catch these people. I always tell people to subscribe. I don't know when I'm going to drop a video. I go off of spirit. I don't plan anything. That's not how it works for me in the spirit realm. In my regular life, I like to plan. I like to have control over things. In the spirit world, I'm just all over the place. So, but when I do go live, I do donations for readings, and I don't set a limit. I know there's some people that set $5 limits, because I know there are literally people that can't afford my services. So for me to give back, I do donations. You can send me 3 cents, you can send me 5 cents, you can send me 50 cents when I do those things. But these are opportunities. So if you can't afford spell work and you need it, you need to start looking for opportunities like this to open up for practitioners that do these things, instead of soliciting somebody that you can't get the work from and just hoping they'll feel bad for you and do the work. Okay, so I went through 2 options as to if you can't afford the work, to either go to somebody that you can afford or look for some type of donation work. Instagram has so many spiritual practitioners. YouTube has so many spiritual practitioners. I'm pretty sure you can find somebody in your price range and that will do donated readings. When I first started, I was charging $5 or $10 reads. If you got to go to new practitioners, so be it. But this approaching people knowing you have no money, it's not cool, and it puts a bad taste in a practitioner's mouth. If you ever want to work with that practitioner, we have the right to say, I don't want to do business with you. I have the right to say, I don't want to do business with anybody. And if you've come to me before, I'm already going to have a preconceived notion because of what you've already approached me with. So to avoid that, don't do that. The second most important alternative, which is better than the first two alternatives that I talked about, is personal empowerment. Learn to do the work yourself. That's the biggest thing. I like money. I like taking y'all money. But guess what? I love empowering people more. I'd rather you do it than you pay me. I do it, because 9 times out of 10 spiritual work, it's not just a one and done. It's a continuous thing, and it can get costly depending on the practitioner. My spells minimum is $250. That's minimum, okay? And because I've got the experience, and I know what it takes for me to get spell work complete, so I know what I need, and that's why I charge what I charge. And I know the liabilities that occur, right? So spell work can get expensive if you're continuously doing spells. And sometimes if your energy is not right, you're going to have to continuously be doing spells, and these are costly. So I empower people. If I even do a reading for you, if I even do spell work for you, during the debriefing or the follow-up, I might even tell you how to do something yourself. So next time you may not need me. Now, if I still give you the information and you still want me to do it, that's something different. But I empower all of my clients, and any of my clients that have ever dealt with me, if you say that you haven't, then I'm sorry, you're lying, because I empower all of my clients to do it. If they say I don't want to do it, I want you, that's something different. So it is imperative that you're going to be on a spiritual journey where you need work done. You need to learn to do something. You need to learn divination at its most basic. If you've got a pendulum, maybe tarot cards, maybe oracle cards, learn candle colors. Like, you need to learn the basics, certain herbs, positive affirmations. These are things that you should be knowing. You shouldn't be going to spiritual practitioners for everything. We are here to guide, not to do for you. We cannot live your life. We cannot live your journey for you. We're here to assist. Most likely, your ancestors and your spirit guides are talking through us to help you. You meet the spiritual practitioner that you meet for a reason, and work with for a reason. That's who your ancestors and your spirit guides are connecting with. Okay? So we can't do this for you. Right? And then if you're upset with any type of work that you've got, if you don't agree with the practitioner, if you would have did it yourself, you could only blame yourself. So again, personal empowerment. Empower yourself. You don't have to become an expert, but have some type of knowledge. Especially, there's a lot of scammers out there. And I explain to my clients when I do readings or do spell work, there are people that will take your money and say that they do the spell work and don't ever do it. I have pictures. I have follow-up pictures for readings. If you get a thorough enough reading from me, I'm going to tell you, don't come back in 3 months. There are people that they will allow you to continue to spend their money and just get reading after reading after reading. After a while, they get watered down. So these are certain things that if you had certain knowledge because you'd acquired some of it yourself, or, if you paid for a seminar or a consultation or something, you're going to have to give some type of money somewhere. Okay. So do you want to beg somebody and you don't have it, or do you want to take the little bit of money you have, invest maybe in a class and a consultation and learn how to do it yourself, or Google things? I mean, it may be mainstream information that you find, but something is better than not doing anything at all and soliciting work that you don't have any intentions of even paying for. I've been there, done that. I've had people trick me into getting information knowing, I'll do it, I'm gonna get them, knowing they're never gonna send me any money. I had to learn the hard way, or taking $20 from somebody to do a spell because that's all they have, and then I don't have the proper tools to do good work because I felt bad for them and only took their $20. Meanwhile, I need $50, $60 to do this spell. So now I've got to take a deficit because I'm not going to give you a shitty spell because I only asked you for $20. I like quality work. I'm not going to do anybody dirty in that aspect. I'm going to do what I do regardless. So I choose not to take under what my price is unless there's a discount, unless I have a special going, like I said, a donation. But just to walk up and assume that I'm going to feel bad because you don't have the money, or any other practitioner, that's not right and that's not fair. So you need to learn personal empowerment and accountability, okay? And that's just what it is. If you've approached me with the situation and you feel like I'm directly talking at you, I'm not. I'm talking about anybody. I've had 3 years of professional experience of reading and doing work for people, okay? Professional. I'm not even talking about the personal history that I have. I'm talking about professionally around the world with people all over the world, all walks of life, all races, okay? And I just felt compelled to give this message because, like I said, if you know me, if y'all been following me, my little intro in the beginning, personal empowerment, motivation, spiritual development, that's what I'm about. So I just wanted to get that out there. I'm gonna stop running my mouth. I'm out to go in the house. I had some training at work. Came home just to, eat some lunch and stuff like that. But let me know what y'all think, okay? All right, talk to y'all later.